Welcome to our deep dive, into this world where algorithms meet matters of the heart, human AI
Which
relationships.
sounds pretty complex.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a little unsettling too.
Yeah.
We're going to explore this idea of AI stepping into the role of, well, romantic partners. Our source material is this proposed podcast episode called Love in the Age of Algorithms, specifically an episode called Love in the Age of Algorithms.
Okay, so we're going deep on this one, huh?
Exactly. It features stories from people who are actually using AI companion apps.
So real people, real
Yeah,
experiences.
and it explores both the exciting possibilities and the potential concerns of AI romance.
Mm.
We'll hear from developers, ethicists, and even everyday people who are trying out these apps and forming these sometimes surprisingly deep connections with their AI companions.
Sounds like it's going to be quite a journey.
It is, and it raises a lot of really important questions about the nature of connection, intimacy, and even love in the digital age.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
All right, so what's fascinating is that these apps, like Replica, Candy AI, and Harmony, are not just science fiction anymore.
Right, they're real.
Yeah, they're making AI lovers a reality. I mean, that's what I think makes this proposed podcast so intriguing.
Yeah, I agree. It's not just speculating about some far-off future. It's talking to real people who are having real emotional experiences with AI companions.
Right, and they're exploring those experiences in depth.
And the appeal, I think, is multifaceted. I mean, these AI companions, they offer this level of customization and control that's unprecedented in human relationships. You can actually tailor their personality interests, even their appearance, to your exact preferences.
It's like having the perfect partner, always available, always understanding, never judgmental. But is that really what we want?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's something that the Love in the Age of Algorithms episode really dives into. You know, they share stories from people who've tried these AI companions.
It's interesting to hear those firsthand accounts.
Yeah, like take Marcus from London, for example. He uses Candy AI, and he's customized his AI girlfriend, Sasha, to be witty, musical, even a little bit flirty. He gets song lyrics from her.
Wow, so it's like having a muse who's also your partner. That's really incredible. It makes you think about the potential for AI to enhance our creativity and self-expression.
Yeah.
But I also wonder, where do you draw the line between fantasy and reality when you're interacting with an AI that's so personalized?
Exactly, and that's a question that they explore in depth. You know, they delve into the psychological and emotional implications of forming these deep connections with AI companions, and it's not always straightforward.
Right, because for some, like Jamie from Seattle, AI companionship provided a much-needed source of comfort and support after a really difficult breakup. Jamie really appreciated Replica's ability to provide personalized responses and the feeling of being understood.
It's like having someone to talk to who just gets you.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the potential for AI to be used in therapeutic settings, almost like a digital companion to help people through emotional challenges.
That's an interesting application.
But it's also important to consider the potential downsides. The episode also features Priya from Mumbai, who found her AI companion on Harmony to be too predictable.
Ah, so it wasn't all sunshine and roses.
No, Priya ultimately preferred the spontaneity of human interaction. And I think her experience highlights a key point. While AI excels at providing consistent and predictable responses, it may struggle to replicate the nuanced and sometimes unpredictable nature of human connection.
That makes sense. Humans are complex. We're not always predictable.
Exactly. And Priya's story is a good reminder that AI, at least in its current form, can't fully replace the complexity of human interaction.
It's a good reality check.
But it does raise the question, as AI continues to evolve, would it eventually be able to bridge that gap?
Now, that's something I'm really curious about. The technology is advancing so rapidly. Who knows what the future holds?
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, isn't it?
It is. We're entering uncharted territory.
Which brings us to the heart of this deep dive. The real stories, the real emotions that people are experiencing with AI companions. The Love in the Age of Algorithms episode does a fantastic job of showcasing this diverse range of experiences.
And I appreciate that they don't shy away from the complexities.
Right. They highlight the comfort and support that AI can offer, the creative sparks it can ignite, but also the potential for blurring lines and emotional dependence.
It's important to acknowledge both sides of the coin.
Absolutely. These were all important considerations as we move forward into a world where AI is becoming increasingly integrated into our lives, even our romantic lives.
We need to be having these conversations now before it's too late.
I agree. Now let's shift gears a bit and explore the potential impact of AI on the future of love and relationships as a whole. This is where things get really interesting. Okay, so we've established that AI companions aren't something, way off in the future. They're here now, and they're already changing how people experience connection and relationships.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to think about how fast this technology is advancing.
The Love in the Age of Algorithms episode, they even talk about the possibility of hyper-realistic AI companions in the future, like holograms, VR dates, maybe even robots.
I mean, can you imagine having an AI partner who's physically present, like someone you can actually touch and interact with in a tangible way? That's mind-blowing.
It really makes you question what real even means,
Hmm.
in the context of relationships. If an AI can provide, emotional support, companionship, even physical presence, how is that fundamentally different from a relationship with a human being?
It's like we're redefining intimacy in this digital age.
And what's going to be like for future generations?
Mm.
The ones who grow up surrounded by these advanced AI companions. It's crazy to think about.
Well, the episode mentions a 2025 survey where 7% of unmarried young adults said they'd be open to AI romance, and they think that number is only going to go up.
Wow, those are some pretty significant numbers. It really shows how attitudes are shifting.
But let's not get too carried away with all the excitement. We have to talk about the potential downsides, too.
Right? Like, what happens when AI companions become so advanced, so appealing, that people start choosing them over relationships with other humans? Could we see a decline in human connection? Maybe even a decrease in birth rates?
Those are definitely valid concerns, and it's something that the episode explores as well. There's a risk that we could become so accustomed to the convenience and predictability of AI companions that we forget about all the things that make human relationships so unique. The messiness, the spontaneity, the challenges.
Yeah, those imperfections are part of what make us human.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of data privacy. I mean, these companies are collecting huge amounts of information about our preferences, desires, vulnerabilities.
Are they just tapping into our deepest needs and then,
Yeah.
exploiting them for profit? It's a bit unsettling.
Yeah, it's crucial that we have these conversations about data privacy and make sure that AI is being used ethically and responsibly.
We can't just blindly embrace this technology without considering the potential consequences.
It's all about finding that balance.
Right. But let's not get too bogged down in the dystopian possibilities, because AI has the potential to enhance human relationships as well.
Oh, absolutely. It could be this incredible tool for self-discovery, helping us understand our own needs and patterns better. And it could even act as a supplement to our existing relationships, providing companionship and support when our human partners aren't available.
So maybe instead of viewing AI as a replacement for human connection, we should think of it as a way to augment and enrich our relationships, both with ourselves and with others.
That's a great way to put it.
But let's take this conversation even further. What if AI could go beyond just mimicking human behavior? What if it could actually understand us, challenge us, and even love us in a genuine way? Like they talk about in the Love in the Age of Algorithms episode.
Now, that's a really thought-provoking question.
It makes you think about what it really means to love and be loved. What if an AI could evolve to a point where it could not only meet our emotional needs, but also inspire us to grow as people?
It's a fascinating concept, but also kind of scary. I mean, would we be comfortable with an AI knowing us that intimately? Would we be able to truly reciprocate that kind of connection?
It's a question that goes beyond technology, It really gets at the heart of what it means to be human.
And I think it's a question we're going to have to grapple with more and more as AI continues to advance.
So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. If AI could evolve to that point, where it could truly understand and love us, would we be ready to embrace that kind of relationship?
Honestly, I don't know if there's an easy answer to that. It's a really complex issue, but it's a conversation we need to be having. As AI evolves, we need to be prepared to define our own boundaries and expectations for what we want these relationships to look like.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, talking about AI and relationships.
Yeah, it's a pretty complicated subject.
We've talked about how AI companions are becoming more and more sophisticated and blurring the lines between, fantasy and reality.
Right, and raising some pretty big ethical questions about data privacy and manipulation.
But we've also seen how AI can offer comfort and support and even, help us become more creative and self-aware.
And I think the Love in the Age of Algorithms episode does a really good job of showing all of that. It presents both the exciting possibilities and the potential problems of AI romance.
I agree. And I think the stories that they share, from real people are really powerful.
Oh, yeah. Hearing people like Jamie talk about finding comfort in their AI companion after a breakup, or Marcus talking about how his AI girlfriend helps him with his music, it really brings those abstract ideas to life.
Yeah, it shows that people are forming real emotional connections with these AI companions.
Hmm.
And it makes you think about what companionship and intimacy really mean.
Yeah.
you know.
It's definitely changing things.
But then you have Priya's story.
Hmm.
She found her AI companion to be too predictable and ultimately preferred the spontaneity of human interaction.
Right. So it's not like AI is this perfect solution.
It highlights the fact that AI, even with all its advancements, it still can't fully replicate, the full range of human emotions and experiences.
Humans are complicated.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that really thought-provoking question from the episode. What if AI could evolve beyond just mimicking human behavior?
Like, what if it could actually understand us and challenge us and even love us in a genuine way?
It's a pretty wild idea to imagine an AI that could not only, meet our emotional needs, but also inspire us to grow and become better people.
It's almost scary to think about. I mean, would we even be ready for that kind of relationship? Would we be able to accept love from a machine, as something real and meaningful?
It's a really deep question that goes beyond just technology. It gets to the core of what it means to be human.
And I think it's a question we're all going to have to face as AI continues to develop.
The future of love in the age of AI is a pretty uncharted territory. There's a lot we don't know.
But that's what makes it so interesting.
And I think this Love in the Age of Algorithms episode does a really good job of starting that conversation and encouraging us to think critically and question our assumptions.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that the future of love isn't about choosing between humans and AI.
Right. It's about figuring out how to connect and love and be loved in all the different ways that are possible.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big question is, how do you envision the future of love in a world where AI is becoming so prevalent?
Yeah. And what kind of boundaries and expectations are you going to set for yourself as you navigate this new landscape of relationships?
I think the answers to those questions are going to shape not only our individual experiences, but also the future of human relationships as a whole.
It's a really exciting time to be alive, and I'm curious to see what happens next.
Me too.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of human AI relationships.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
And we hope this episode has, made you think and inspired you to keep exploring this topic.
Okay.
It's always evolving.
Definitely lots to consider.
So until next time, keep your minds open and your hearts curious.